Hey folks, this is Christian Ballard here at
Let's go. Get on base. Woo!
And we say happy Wednesday to everybody. August 27th, it is week one of the college football season. Hope everyone's doing great. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, leave us a reaction and a like on Facebook. Comments appreciated. Usually I drop the StreamYard link to let people on, but as you probably saw from the comments section, this will probably be a quick show. I have some stuff to talk about. I just want to get out the way. I don't want to say I don't want to deal with calls. I just don't feel like turning this into a call-in show today or anything or a hangout. Maybe we'll do that if we can next week. As far as my job, it seems like Wednesday is going to be my off day. Most likely, I'll have to work like Friday and Saturday mornings, of course. But got stuff to prep for today, like an interview, as you see by this comment. 2 p.m. Eastern, live with Locked On Bama's from the Locked On Podcast Network, Luke Robinson. Looking forward to talking with him about the Florida State matchup and the outlook he has for the Crimson Tide this season in 2025. I almost said 2026. Funny enough. Speaking of 2026, not to look too far ahead, I know you probably clicked on this. You're like, why is he talking about next year? Well, because I can. Uh, West Virginia and Alabama cancel their series and replace the series with, and I jokingly put lesser G5 foes, but I mean, come on. Compared to the Big 12 and the SEC, what they have now, instead of this opening matchup for next year, which I was hoping to like save up my money and go out to Morgantown and see Joey Foster and everything, man. They better reschedule it. They didn't just reschedule it, they canceled it. They straight up like said, nah, we're not gonna do this. Um so it is interesting. I'm gonna read a little bit from Shoyler Callahan of West Virginia Mountaineers on SI, who put this out. These teams haven't met since the opening game of 2013, 2014, I should say. But West Virginia and Alabama have canceled their home and home series. New games added, and this was announced yesterday afternoon on Tuesday that West Virginia said they mutually agreed to cancel the home and home football series. I don't know if that's true or not. The first game would have been in September next year in Morgantown, with the Mountaineers coming to Tuscaloosa in 2027. Instead, what's going to happen is for the Mountaineers, September 5th, the Mountaineers will host Coastal Carolina in 2026, and on September 4th, 2027, they will host Southern Miss. Um, so that, I mean, they replaced them with interesting group of 5 teams here. So, what's up, Yoda? Good to see you. And again, I mean, is this an issue? I don't think it's an issue, but it does make you curious. I don't think they ever said why they canceled it, but um, and I think this article is I mean, I guess it's accurate. September 4th, 2027, Southern Miss will come to Morgantown, but they also added in UT Martin, or maybe that was already there. But this is West Virginia 2026 schedule. Coastal Carolina being the replacement opener at home instead of Alabama, and Alabama has officially gone with East Carolina. Already had USF scheduled at home for September the 12th, but for September the 5th to replace the Mountaineers of West Virginia here. They have gone with the East Carolina Pirates, and I think they met in 2007. I could be wrong there. Um, no, that was West Carolina was Saban's first game coaching, I think. Anyway, I don't know if these teams have met, but it should be an interesting matchup. East Carolina's an okay team every once in a while. Um, so yeah, let me know your thoughts on that in the comments and the live chat, all that stuff. I mean, I'm not going to try to sit here and say that West Virginia is scared or anything. Um, I'm not going to try to make jokes or anything. I'm still trying to figure out why they did it. I don't think it's because they don't want to play Bama. I mean, we could joke all day long, but overall, it's just like, what a like why? So there's that. I talked about that. Like I said, no calls today. Got to hear from you guys on this one too. You look at 2025. You talk about the college football season. The best quarterback in each Power Four conference this year, there can only be one of the best quarterbacks, I guess. And I came up with mine. I I think the SEC is kind of up for debate. I think you have to see Ty Simpson. You got to see more from Gunnar Stockton. But I think the obvious choice for the SEC would be Arch Manning. I would go Drew Aller and Penn State in the Big Ten. And quite honestly, for me, it's not even close. I mean, you have great quarterbacks out there, but like Julian Sayin still needs to prove his spot at Ohio State. Bryce Underwood still got to prove it at Michigan. There's a lot of good quarterbacks. There's a lot of good teams. There's a lot to love in the Big Ten. But I think based on returning production around Drew Aller, based on experience, based on just the fact he has proven himself to be a good leader, um, I'm not saying he's going to be the best this year, but I think going into the season, he is definitely the go-to quarterback out of the Big Ten. Rocco Becht of Iowa State had a shaky week 0 game with Kansas State, but had some moments. I think the Big 12 is a free for all as far as who's going to win the conference, but I really like Rocco Becht if he's healthy. I think he's got a really high ceiling to be efficient, has the key pieces to do it, to get the job done overall. And, you know, the, I feel like with, and I'll come back to some of these, but like when you look at the Big 12, um, and you look at Rocco Beck, you know, he, on a rainy field had some struggles. Could you imagine if the field wasn't completely wet and soaked, if it was dry, if the weather was fine? And I'm not trying to blame weather necessarily, but could you just imagine on a bright sunny day in Ireland, like, how much better it would have been? He literally was 50% completion, 14 of 28. He avoided an interception and accounted for all 3 of Iowa State's touchdowns, 2 passing and 1 rushing, including the game-clinching pass to Carson Hansen on a 4th and 3 in that game. Um, Matt Campbell loves his quarterback. He's gonna stick to it. Um, I think he should. I think that's what's going to happen with Iowa State and Rocco Beck. I think that he's just the go-to for Iowa State. I feel like he's being slept on as far as being like a Heisman candidate. I really think he's that good. I personally do. I still need to see it happen, but I kind of view it with looking inside of people and seeing the potential inside of them. I don't know, God-given gifts, right? It's just there. And I feel like Rocco Beck's one of those quarterbacks. I feel the same way about Ty Simpson as probably anybody else. He's going to be great. He's a 5-star recruit. He's just so good. Look at his high school film, but we still got to see it in an Alabama uniform, right? I mean, that's fair. But again, to get to this list, I think it starts in the SEC with Arch Manning. It starts in the Big Ten with Drew Aller. I don't think that's close as far as who the best, not even just returning quarterback. There's so many new faces. But here's the thing with the new faces, right? They have yet to take meaningful reps, meaningful snaps with their respective teams that leads you to believe that they're going to be great. Now, you can believe they're going to be great. That's fine. You could say Julian's saying, going to throw for over 2,000, 3,000 yards, whatever. Throw for 30 touchdowns. Only throw like 5, 6 picks this year. He's just that good. He should have stuck with Bama, whatever. You can say whatever you want to about all that. That's fine. That's cool. That's great. But you still got to see it, right? I mean, he hasn't done anything yet. Um, the ACC. I go to Cade Klubnik in Clemson. I think I already mentioned that, but I will mention that he was third last year in the ACC, not overall in college football, but in the conference, and yards passing behind Cam Ward, who obviously was the number one pick, and Kyle McCord, who is where's he playing? He's in the NFL. He left too. Um, so and he still threw for over 3,000 yards, 3,639 to be exact. For Cade Klubnik, and that's not like, oh, that's just against the ACC. That's overall, you know. But yeah, I mean, there's so many good quarterbacks this year. We've seen offense fall off the past couple years, and we've seen defense kind of come back. I feel like with Texas, I feel like with Penn State, you're going to have your good defenses. Georgia's always going to be up there. Alabama's going to be improved. Ohio State, Penn State, going to look great. I think we're on a year, and I'd even throw out like LSU and Garrett Nussmeier, right? Um, it's going to be quarterback heavy in next year's draft, but it has to start somewhere. It has to start with college football this season. Garrett Nussmeier, a Heisman favorite this year, last year, 4,052 yards, 64 completion percentage, 29 touchdowns, 12 picks, did take 16 sacks, but it happens. Got to improve that O line just a little bit. Got a lot coming back, key pieces around him. There's so much to love about a guy like Garrett Nussmeier. Is he the best in the SEC? Like I said, I'm gonna stick to Arch Manning, but I think with talent and potential, if you based it off that, you start with Arch. But to sit there and say it's not even close in the SEC, I think is asinine, which I've heard that word used many times. So that it's insane. It's crazy, right? To say that it's not close between like, oh, it's in the SEC, it's going to be Texas and the rest of them. Georgia's going to probably be really good with Gunnar Stockton too. But you talk about the guys that have proven themselves a little bit, even the slightest. I think Gunnar Stockton's done some stuff great for Georgia. I also think that Garrett Nussmeier's out there. I don't think Ty Simpson's done anything yet. I hope he does a lot of great things for my Crimson Tide. I really do. But overall, I would say that um, Garrett Nussmeier's got to be in that conversation for the SEC best quarterback this year. Arch Manning. I mean, it is. I think it's 1A, 1B right now. Um, Arch Manning and then Garrett Nussmeier in the SEC. 1A, 1B. One of those two is going to be the one with the best stats, passing, probably even rushing at the end of this year. In the SEC, that is. I don't know how high it's going to rank in terms of FBS or Power 4. I mean, it'd probably be pretty high up there. I'd never bet on that stuff. I um I don't know. I think that you have that talent, you have that potential for a team like LSU, for a team like Texas, for Gunnar Stockton in Georgia. The pieces are definitely there. Um, had we not had the drama this offseason in the SEC and Tennessee, um, and the transfer out with Nico, had we not had that, would we be talking about Nico Iamaleava at Tennessee? We would be talking about him at Tennessee, but would we And I'm not saying this to say yes or no. I don't know. I mean, where would y'all view him? Let's say if he was still there right now, and going in, you're playing a interesting team in Syracuse this weekend. Nico's the quarterback. Now, obviously, he's not. This is hypothetical. He's at UCLA. But think about it, man. How he was last year. You bring some guys back, and some guys transfer out too, but Uh, 9 times out of 10, people might say, "He might not win the Heisman, he might not win the SEC, he might not win a championship for Tennessee or anything, but he's pretty darn good." And I think I do think he can have a good year at UCLA. I don't know. Well, yes, I do. I know he's very talented. Enough with this I don't know stuff. Here's what I do know about UCLA and Nico. Um It ain't gonna work out. I don't think that's gonna be Nico's fault. I just think that's on UCLA. I just don't think they're gonna be all that good this year. I mean, maybe 5 or 6 wins if they're lucky to make a bowl, but I'm not very high on the Bruins. Anyway, best quarterback in each Power 4 conference to close this segment out. Arch Manning at Texas in the SEC, Drew Aller in Penn State in the Big Ten. Big 12, I go Rocco Becht, although there's a lot of different candidates outside of Iowa State. Cade Klubnik and Clemson in the ACC. That's who I got. Let me know what you think. So yeah, I just absolutely love those guys. A lot to talk about there. Um, yeah, man, I'm excited for this season. I know I'm kind of rambling a little bit here too, but Uh, just had to get on here, had to do a show. Not a whole lot of major news that I've seen. Um, damn dogs. I love them, but damn, dude. Anyway, not a whole lot of huge news lately. I mean, maybe some injury updates. I haven't seen too much at least. But uh you talk about all this and you come to some interesting conclusions that you have a lot of great teams. It's wide open for the Natty. I just like Texas and Penn State as my top 2 favorites. I don't know who's gonna win it. I think it's up for grabs. I think it's always up for grabs. If you want it bad enough, go get it. So, anyway, UCF and Jacksonville State. I didn't even know that was a Thursday game. Y'all check out the schedule real quick. Real quick. Have y'all seen the Thursday lineup? We got some good games. Look at this. Look at this. Check out the Thursday game. We'll look at it all, but Boise State, South Florida, Ohio, and Rutgers. Maybe that's a good game because of the level of those teams. I don't know. East Carolina, NC State. You probably want to watch NC State. Um, Jacksonville State, UCF. I'd watch it because I love the Alabama schools like Jacksonville State. Um, let's see, Elon Musk and Duke. UT Martin, Oklahoma State. Nebraska, Cincinnati is the big one. Alabama State, UAB is a big rivalry. I think it's a rivalry. I know it's a big game. They've played a few times. Miami of Ohio, Wisconsin. Uh, Friday night, Auburn, Baylor, Georgia Tech, Colorado. The fact those are at, I mean, I know they got to be prime time, but why at the exact same time? I mean, I'll do split screen or whatever, but um, I was gonna try to go live that night for one of those games or both. and do a double like feature type of deal because I got the split screen on YouTube TV. But I told my mom, I said, no, let's watch them together. Let's take a break from YouTube that night. Let's just sit down, watch these games. Maybe I'll do some videos at halftime and do some recap, but I don't know yet. Um, I like Auburn to win, and I like Georgia Tech. I like road upsets that night. Uh, kind of, sort of upsets. I don't know. I think Auburn over Baylor's an upset. Georgia Tech, I believe, is favored. I just previewed that one, but let me see. Yeah, no, Auburn and Georgia Tech. So it's not necessarily upsets, but road victories on Friday night. So yeah. Yoda T says, let's go let's go Colorado. All right. Good for you. So okay, so the streaming schedule coming up for us for these games. We will do LSU Clemson 7:25 p.m. Eastern on Saturday night. We'll do that primetime game because I'll get off at like 5:30, come home. I'm like 20, 30 minutes. Come home, eat some dinner. Let's watch that game. Let's do, I don't work Sunday, but I might have some schoolwork in the afternoon. I want to go live for the Notre Dame Miami game. And then that's it for the weekend. We'll do the Sunday night game in the primetime Clemson LSU on Saturday. Um, let's see. And then we'll go from there. I might end up doing the the Bama game on the 13th. Uh, just as a fan, but I mean it's ULM at 7:45. I work till 6 that Saturday. So, yep. Yoda T in the comments. What's up, buddy? Says, I can't root for Tech as a dog fan. Yeah, I know. It's the law. I can't root for Auburn. I mean, yeah, part of me like wants to see them have like you don't want your rival to be like the worst team in the world, do you? I mean, you want some competitiveness when that game comes around. Otherwise, you just blow them out. It's boring. So that's kind of where I stand with like Auburn and Tennessee. Although I kind of, I kind of hate Tennessee a little bit more than Auburn, if I'm being honest. Um, that's just me personally. It's the fans, man. Auburn fans are pretty cool. They're chill. Tennessee fans are great too. Rest in peace, BVD. But and shout out to guys like Squidtard and TriStar and everything. Those are like three guys. Like I know them on here to be realists, but then you go over to Vol Twitter and everything, and holy crap, that's just it's insane, man. It's insane. Hmm. Let's see. What else can we talk about? I kind of ran through it all, and I said I wasn't going to drop the link, um, which I'm still not going to, especially with those dogs barking in the background. I'm sorry. I got someone here to clean the house, so there's that. Um, yeah, I don't know. So the only other thing for today that I have later is 2 o'clock Eastern. The BSM podcast. So this is what I want to do too, and I mentioned this in my video this morning. The BSM podcast, episode 59 today, going to be live with Luke Robinson of Locked On Bama. Looking forward to talking with him. Great guy, great podcast, loves the Tide, just loves college football. Just a great guy. We're going to talk to him, get some insight on the game this weekend and the Tide going forward for 2025. But that's going to be a live BSM podcast, and that's episode 59. But here's what I want to do with that going forward. I want that to be interviews. Like, if we get good conversation, I'm not talking about like those 2 or 3 minute interviews. I'm talking, I want to bring people on that want to have conversation about college football, the experts and everything that have the time to come on and be a part of the BSN podcast. That's what that's going to be. So, and it'll start today. It's still episode 59. It's not starting over with like episode 1 or anything like that. It's on YouTube only. And I got it on Facebook as well. But episode 60, we'll get around to it when we get someone else scheduled. But let me know who you want to hear from on the channel. Experts, um, players, maybe coaches if I'm lucky enough. It's harder to get coaches than players. But if you have suggestions for who you want to hear, college football wise, or really any sport, but you know me, I stick to what I know. I try to with college football. So I mean, I don't mind interviewing more basketball players and stuff, or basketball coaches, and getting their insight and analysis on like if it's a player. I say analysis. I mean, I get insight on the sport, but I mean, they you want to ask them about their game and how they prep and stuff. But like today with Luke Robinson, he's not a player for Bama. He's not a coach for Bama, but he covers Alabama. That's where you get analysis. You talk up the game, you talk up the season. How's it going to go? What are your predictions and stuff? We'll do that with Luke Robinson today on the BSM pod, episode 59. I'd love to keep doing the pod. I think we are, but it's gonna be interview only going forward. And I'll mention that and talk about it. So yep. All right. Give it a couple more minutes and I'll be out of here. Well, I might just go ahead and end it. I don't know. Like I said, it's just one of those things. I got a lot of stuff to do and prep for, so I'm not gonna let anybody on. I didn't even drop the link. So I appreciate it though. I love each and every one of you. Thank you, Yoda T, for the comments today. I love you guys. Jesus loves you. Keep your head up. God bless. And yeah, let's go ahead and get out of here. We'll try. I'll figure it out for next week. I guess on Wednesdays will work. Um, let's see. Take it off Friday. Yeah. My next stream, I mean, outside of today with Luke, it will be what are we looking at here? I guess it'll be the LSU Clemson game, unless I come up with something before then. Probably not. I'll be pretty busy, tired from work and stuff like that. So, anyways, that'll do it for this episode, number 26 in the books. I love you guys. Jesus loves you. Keep your head up. God bless. And we'll see you next time here on Ballard Sports Media. Hey, folks, this is Christian Ballard here at